back with Bobby and JJ Radio. We still have Mr. Adrian Martinez with 550 Marketing Management Group, talking about everything experiential marketing, and so it's been 2 decades. So where we just left off, you get with a big company, they teach you the ropes, right?
Teach you the ropes, yes.
Yeah, which is cool because that's on someone else's dime, and you can kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work. And then so now San Antonio, how does this come up?
So being trained out in the field and knowing how to do that, that's the only way it works. It doesn't work in the office. You can have your account team, you can have your account directors all come up with a great plan. But if they've never been out in the field,
right,
that plan is not going to execute the way that they really want it to. They don't know any better. Unfortunately, that's just a nature of the beast. They don't know any better. So what happened was, I did that for 6 years. I traveled the country for 6 years straight. We got to do great events for spring break every year, Lake Havasu, South Padre, Cancun. Been everywhere. I've been out of every major city and stayed there for at least 2 months at a time.
Cool.
So I got to examine a lot of trends, a lot of different demographics, and I said, you know what, I want to pack that up and I want to take it back home. Right. I want to go back to San Antonio. And my idea at first was like, let me go with mom and pops and try to really, stretch their dollar and show them that this experiential thing will bring dollars back to them.
So let's stop right there, because when we're off the air here, Jesse here, which is a huge agent here in San Antonio, we're going to talk to him a little bit. But we're business owners, right? Mm-hmm. So what should a business owner expect to budget for marketing?
Okay, so if you're at top of the food chain, everybody's top of the food chain, I would say about 5% of your revenue needs to go to.
So what does that mean?
About $8.
So about $8. $8. I got 8 on it.
So that would be like HEB, right? That'd be like HEB, top of the food chain.
They have no competition.
No competition.
Yeah,
I would say 5% of your revenue needs to go to marketing.
Gotcha.
If you're somebody that is competitive, it's going to be closer to 10%. If you're a company that is trying to launch, break through, you're going to want to spend 25%. If you're a startup company and you want to make a hard impact, you're looking at 50%. Okay, so whatever it takes to run your business, do that at the minimum, and whatever it takes to market your business, do that at the maximum. Mm-hmm. Don't do it the opposite way. Mm-hmm. So if you're, or let's just say you're opening a deli, and you're going to decide whether or not you want a $2,000 service tray, or you're going to put $2,000 on the marketing, do it with the marketing. Even though you're like, man, this service tray is really going to help me, it's really going to help my business. Mm-hmm. If there's nobody at your business, it's not going to help you at all.
I want to give a quick shout out though. Ate lunch at Gino's Deli. Oh, yeah. That guy could use some help in marketing and branding, dude. He's all over the place.
No, it's completely full.
Like Versace.
It's full all the time.
It
hits capacity every single day.
No, but I'm just saying,
I've seen you there, literally.
That's true.
I've seen you there.
So tell me, who's your typical client?
Well, for right now, healthcare. I love healthcare. Healthcare is such a strong placement that people need to know out in the field, because no matter what, you can see the billboards, you can see the commercials, but not until you start like shaking hands and really talking to people, that's in that field, they will respect that the most, because it's very hard when you talk to physicians. You're talking to them on their terms in their office and in their situation. So maybe you take it out into the field, and now as a patient or even as somebody maybe thinking about that, it's a little bit more easier to talk to, a little bit more easy to be a little more candid. Mm-hmm. You don't feel so stuffy.
Well, I mean, I have all my clothes on, right? So we can have a real conversation.
So we have a real conversation, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have the gown with your butt hanging out.
Look him in the
What's
eye,
weird is I get there with that, and then I put on jeans. All right. So what about how important is the database, and how do you start or create one?
Okay, so I think every company should have a database, no matter what.
Right.
In order for you to really achieve, you got to be in tune with your consumers. You have to. So what that means is you'll always rely on them to provide that feedback to make you better. But if you don't have that database to always connect to them, you're going to use things like Facebook, you might use Instagram, which is okay, but a direct message to your people serves its purpose. So the easiest way to gather this database, start having your own events. So if you're a small mom and pop, maybe you just start having these little meet and greets. Maybe you're at a restaurant. Maybe you just start raffling off little prizes here and there. But there's so many simple ways to gather people's information and their data, but at the same time, it has to be in the face. It has to be one-on-one. It has to be an equal exchange. If I'm going to give you something, I want you to give me something. So if I'm going to give you my data, I want something in return. And I think a lot of people have started to realize that data is important, your information is important, and it costs something.
Right.
And it's worth something.
Because it's not what you know, really. It's at the end of the day, it's who you know.
It's who you know.
And so it's a contact sport, and so as many contacts as humanly possible.
Absolutely.
And then, do you dive into this is the last question because we got a split for today? But once you have a database, do you help the business owner stay in contact with them?
Yes. So we have our own database network systems called sendblastnow.com. Anybody can go on there, start your own database, which is basically it gives you all of these tools to start things. So number one, if you're somebody that needs to start collecting a database, it gives you simple things like QR codes, coupons, things that you can use, but it's all digital. So you can send somebody a digital coupon or send somebody a digital voucher, and when they want to accept it, they got to sign up and give you their info.
Right.
You know, so there's a lot of key things that you can use to collect these databases. But the most important thing is that once you've send out that information and you want to have some feedback, and you get that feedback, implementing and applying some of that feedback, especially if it's for the masses, it has to be happen quickly.
Sure.
So if there's a lot of feedback and it says, you know what, we really didn't like that sandwich, so to speak, you got to take it off the menu as quick as you can. It's things like that that will make sure that your customer knows they're thinking of me at all times.
Right.
At all times, they're looking and saying, how can I improve your life? Not my business. How can I improve you?
Right.
And I think a lot more consumers and customers appreciate that. But it's a thin line. You don't want to bombard them over and over with, hey, how was your meal this time?
You're like, it was fine.
It was fine. It was great. But if you give them an incentive, always, they'll be happy to take the time to fill out whatever and give you your feedback.
Cool. Well, the master here, Mr. Adrian Martinez with 550 Marketing Management Group. Contact them at 210-591-5310. Again, that's 591-5310. Check out their website at stafffactorytx.com.